Last time you left us, we had found this amazing and totally unexpected camp. Goodbye, beautiful Ridgeline Lakeview campsite. You were wonderful, and I slept really, really well. As usual, we weren't exactly sure where we would end up, but just started heading south. We ended up in a little town called San Agustín. I looked on iOverlander to see if maybe there was a place in this town we could camp. Turns out there were a few. I ended up choosing one that we weren't really sure if we were allowed to camp at, but it was a ways out of the actual town, which was really appealing to us, so we decided to go check it out. Turns out it was run by a couple who was planning their own adventure, and they love to have travelers stay, or in our case, camp at their hotel. It is a super fancy place, and they were amazing. They even let us park Goose undercover and filled our propane tank. Next morning, we were excited to get going. We had come up with a route that would take us on a little loop through what looked to be some neat back roads. Good morning. We are making our way, I don't even know towards which town because we're kind of zigzagging along the country right now, so I'm not sure where we're going to end up, but we find ourselves on a kind of bumpy, bad dirt road. And we haven't seen too much traffic, but we came to a spot where there is a line of cars and trucks, and I don't know how long it is. Tim walked up to see if he could find what the kind of holdup is for all this traffic, to see if maybe we could, if it's someone that needs to be pulled out. It's a bit of a muddy road, so maybe someone is stuck or off the road or something. So must be a pretty long line though, because he's been gone for a while. Not sure what the problem is, but for now we're stuck sitting waiting for something to move. So we'll see what Tim finds out someday when he gets back. So for now I'm just hanging out in the car reading a book, waiting. So while we wait, I'm gonna make lunch.
Hola, buen día. Hello.
Hi.
All right, so I walked ahead, and I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt and my muck boots, and I started walking and walking and walking more and more, and then I realized this is going to be a long walk. So it's a few kilometers ahead, and thankfully I brought a camera, so I took video. There's a semi that early this morning, I guess at 5 a.m., was coming around one of the switchbacks. The rear tires, you know, they take a different line than the front tires. They take the inside. And so the inside tires were a little close to the edge. You can tell it gave way. The trailer fell in. That flipped the power, the tractor part of the tractor trailer on its lid. And then people, I guess, have been going by all morning in the muddy spot next to it. But then a semi got stuck there, so they were wedged. And then people were working, digging, etc. I got up there right about when they were pulling trucks up to pull it out. They got it out, so I was like, great, we're good. There's a gap. We could drive through the gap that they made. But it's been now another 45 minutes and not a single vehicle's come through. So I'm going to guess that the very next semi went, well, I'm not waiting around. There's a gap. I'm going to go. And he probably got stuck. So whatever they're doing, I think we're going to turn around and go back the other way and take a different road. But it was interesting to see. This is the kind of stuff that we're always shocked. Like you see a semi or you see a bus full of tourists on a random little muddy track like this. And you think, oh man, like what's going on? I can hear semis moving. Yeah, we'll see. We're probably going to turn around.
We eventually did turn around, but we wasted most of the day just sitting there, so we decided to head back to the last night's spot and try another route tomorrow. This is a fire beetle. They're bioluminescent, similar to fireflies, except they don't flash like a firefly. They just constantly glow. But the coolest thing is, as you can see here, they can control the intensity of their glow. They also have an even brighter spot under their wings, but you can only see it when they fly, and I wasn't able to get it on video. So cool. Alright, we are heading up the Trampoline of Death. That's the name of the road that we're on. There's another car coming.
Yeah, there's some skinny spots, but so far we've been able to pass by anyone that's on the road. The hard part is getting behind like a bus. These guys don't, they're trying to get somewhere. They don't want to pull over and like kindly, oh yes, go ahead, tourist.
The funny thing is, like, I would say almost most of the mountain roads that we've been on have been much worse and skinnier than this.
Yeah, we don't know.
This has a lot of traffic.
We're a third of the way maybe, so we got a lot further to explore and see.
There's a lot of like taxis
we got past
coming down.
The Volkswagen buses. They look like a Sprinter van, but they're Volkswagen. And those guys are the fastest I've seen. Off-road too. The wheelbase and suspension must be pretty loosey-goosey because they pound along. So it's kind of like motorcycles, good motorcycles. The guys who actually have dirt bikes are the fastest. Us and the guys who are on like normal Chinese motorcycles are kind of the similar speed. Then you've got the Volkswagen buses and the Hilux pickup trucks hauling butt.
The guys on the wrong side of the road.
Yep, guys on the wrong side of the road.
So really the Trampoline of Death is just due to people.
Yeah, pretty bad drivers, which is kind of everywhere. We've noticed like people aren't as aggressive in Colombia as they are in, say, Mexico City, where people are really pushy drivers, but they're really like casual drivers, like nothing bad could happen, and that seems to be how people drive and walk. Apparently the government never made them watch blood on the asphalt or anything like that. Okay, so we are camped on the Trampoline of Death. It's got a nice ring to it. You can see some of it right down there. That's sort of a wider part where 2 trucks can pass. Often the clouds out here is a little skinnier stuff. So the skinnier stuff, it's definitely one vehicle. Our truck probably has a foot or 2, you know, on the side of it, so it's not that scary. What's scary is when you try and pass somebody else, and then we run into some bad drivers. We actually had a guy hit us. He's an old Suzuki Samurai, and he had a good 3 feet on the side of him where the cliff was, and you could just tell he was doing one of those things where he like staring at the cliff and he's driving towards us, and I was honking. He had plenty of room to get by, and he just put the side of his left rear quarter panel into our 4x4 Labs bumper. So thankfully it was the bumper though, and not like the door, and didn't leave any scratch really, except for maybe a little scratch in the paint on the bumper.
Flashback.
I don't know what he hit, but I think it was just the 4x4 Labs bumper. So guy's a bad driver. You hear the engine revving.
Yeah.
He's driving a manual and he can't do it. He was probably a good 3 feet from the edge, and he kept coming closer to us and closer to us, and I was like, whoa, what's he doing? But yeah, his car just had a nice scrape down it, and a little bit of our black paint that we put on down at Brent's house in Houston.
End of flashback.
But that's what the scary part of this road is bad drivers. We had to back up at another section because there was a truck coming up that was, you know, one width only, and as I was backing up, I could hear the guy behind me just flooring the engine and roasting his clutch. So you know, and then he couldn't get out of the way in time, and he thought I was going to hit him, so he's honking on his horn. And I think that's the scariest part of this road, is that you're at the subject of everyone else's driving ability. Not saying that we're amazing, it's just, you know, you at least know your truck, and you've been on a lot of shelf roads, you just take it easy and it's not that big a deal. But yeah, so we're going to go on more of it today. We're 3/4 of the way through it, and then we're gonna head sort of for the Ecuadorian border. Camp tonight, maybe cross tomorrow, but if we see something cool, we'll cross in a couple days, so no real plan. All right, here's some video of the campsite. Possibly. Whoa.
Sorry, you're close.
I want to be close. Hi guys.